Hey, 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 hey. Hey, Soul Fam, I'm back. Hi. You know exactly who I am. I'm Astrologer Penny Dix. And here we are for the return of my live streams. And this one, of course, being for June in 2024. I suddenly couldn't even remember what month we were in or what year we were in. But here we are, and there we go. So how are you all doing? As you can see, I'm back. I am up and sitting in my chair, and I'm doing pretty well. I still have this wonderful. Can you see it? This bruise here, and it just doesn't want to go. I've also got a really funny chin, which I'm not going to talk about, but I've got a funny chin. And at some point, it's going to have lots of stuff done to it. Anyway, June 2024. How is this going to unfold? Let's start at the very beginning, because we need to go back to yesterday, which was the 31st of May, because what we had was an exact conjunction between Mercury, our planet of communication, our messenger of the gods, and he was conjunct our big unpredictable boy Uranus, our planet of shocks, surprises, all sorts of unpredictability can come with this kind of energy. So we have to think about, what did we see in the news? What did we hear in the news? What might we have heard personally? I know in America you had pretty big news, but I don't know whether the news around the ex-President Trump was unexpected or not, to be quite honest. It will be very interesting to see how that all unfolds. As I say always, I stay neutral in these topics, in these subjects, but I don't know, I wasn't surprised. I don't know whether it's going to do him any favors in the long term, but probably it could quite well do him a lot of favors. But we don't want to talk about politics, do we? No, we want to talk about you, and we want to talk about June, and we want to talk about what is going on. What's this, Andy? You had a brutal day in the classroom. Major ego checks. Interesting. Hi, Inner Light. Thank you. I'm doing my best. So, oh, thank you. My posture's improved, Annabelle. You're noticing it. That is incredible. Fantastic. I will pass on your comments to my surgeon. June, yesterday, May 31st. This energy spills into the first few days of June. So we still may get unexpected news on the world stage. And you know what? With Uranus, because it's so unpredictable, it can go this way and it can go that way. We just never know which way it can go. What's interesting is, for me, because of course I always bring things back to me, it's conjunct my sun in Taurus at 24 degrees. And I'm kind of curious to see how that pans out, because did I get anything unexpected happening yesterday? Not particularly, unless something is going on behind the scenes that I know nothing about. So I can't say that it had any particular resonance for me, but maybe there is a bigger picture of which I am not yet aware. Hi, Sue. Good to see you here. So I did an event chart, which if you go to my website, the blog is up for June 2024. And if you want to be notified about when my blogs go up, just pop your email into the subscription box, which is on the front page, the home page of the website, pennydix.com. And then you will get notifications of when the blogs come out. And remember, you can always unsubscribe. And while we're on the matter, I just want to say that I know some of you have found my booking system quite confusing. Don't worry, so do I. But basically what I want to say is, if you are having any problems finding a time that suits you, email me, because I actually only have basically 4 slots a week, and they're at 4 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that is because I'm really listening to Saturn in my chart and pacing myself. So if you want to book a session with me, email me, because if you're on the Pacific coast or in Hawaii, because I have had clients in Hawaii, or you're in Australia, New Zealand, we have completely roundabout, back-to-back kind of different time zones. We can accommodate each other because I've done it in the past, so I can do it again, but it won't necessarily be that 4 o'clock slot that you see available on the website. It works for people in the UK, it works for people in Europe, it works for people in most time zones of the United States. So that said, let's look at this energy, because as I said, this Mercury conjunct Uranus is just going to spill into the first few days of June. But we've also got this really interesting trine. Now, remember, a trine is good energy, and the trine is from Jupiter, newly arrived in Gemini. We've got quite a lineup of planets in Gemini. We've got Sedna, who is a dwarf planet. Remember, Sedna is the sea goddess, the one whose father threw her out of the canoe because they were all going to die in a storm if they didn't get rid of at least one person. So he chucked her out. If you want me to go deeply into that story, I can, but I have done on other videos, so I don't have to do it here. But basically, he threw her into the water to drown. But she transformed into a sea goddess, and all her limbs became the sea creatures of the sea. And the kind of metaphor of that is that we have to let go. At some point, we have to let go of the authority in our lives, the paternal figures in our lives. We have to take responsibility for our own lives and our own actions. And that brings me neatly onto Thursday, the 6th of June, because this is when we have our first lunation. We have a new moon in Gemini. Now, I've actually pre-recorded the video for that this afternoon, and it will go up on the channel round about Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not quite sure. So I'm not going to say too much about it here because I'll just be repeating myself. But it's not your normal kind of run-of-the-mill new moon. This is not an easy one because it's got a hard square from Saturn in Pisces to the new moon. Now, you need to just be aware of that, because with Gemini, our mind runs ahead. It races ahead. We have all these amazing ideas about all the things we want to do. And this new moon is saying, slow down. This is what Saturn is saying, slow down. Any obstacles or blocks that come to what you might be trying to initiate or put into practice, they are there for a reason. Trust that. Trust that the obstacles and blocks are happening for a reason. Okay? So just be mindful of that. The new moon also is, we've got Venus conjunct it, but Venus is kind of hidden from sight because it's one of those times of year where it goes behind the sun. So that means we can't actually visibly see Venus. And in a sense, it's like symbolically, what gets lost from your sight? What might you be overlooking that would come under the domain of Venus? So that might be friendships, love relationships, your finances, anything to do with luxury goods that you need to make payments on, anything to do with anything that comes under the heading of Taurus. So, as I say, finance, luxury, food, anything of that kind of genre is lost from your sight somehow. It's almost as if the Gemini energy takes us off on a kind of reverie of thought and dreams, and just because Jupiter there is expanding all our thinking and making us kind of lose touch with this lovely trine energy to Pluto. Pluto, remember, is about beginnings, endings, transformation in a nutshell. It's about a lot more too. And Pluto is currently retrograde in Aquarius. Pluto is going to re-enter Capricorn soon. And it will be giving us a little bit of a wake-up call about what we need to still sort out that comes under the heading of Pluto in Capricorn. What structures in our lives do not serve us? Now, why I bring that up is because of this Jupiter trine, we have this sensation of Jupiter's wonderful, bountiful, optimistic, and opportunistic energy saying, yes, all these wonderful things can happen. But because Jupiter is not in a good position in Gemini, because Jupiter is in the sign where it's known as being in its fall, it's opposite the sign it rules, which is Sagittarius, which is all about fire and learning and energy and about, Sagittarius is a creative sign as well. So we have this kind of Jupiter energy a bit lost in Gemini. So what can happen is we tend to sit back on our laurels and forget to do what we need to do. So with all the things you would like to actually initiate, get going, get started in, the Gemini season, don't just let it go day after day after day, because there is this danger that we just kind of sit back and I'll do it tomorrow. You know how we get into these kind of things? It's, what's that, Andy? You've got Pluto in Capricorn sitting on your Sun and Mars. God, you must be exhausted. You poor lady. That is quite tough energy. So think about me. I've got Uranus conjunct my Sun, and I just don't know what it's got lined up for me, or whether I've had it, or whether it's waiting in the wings. But, when we get these big outer planets conjunct one of our personal planets, like our Sun or our Moon, it's really big stuff. So I want to also look at what's going on the 11th of June. Because Mars in Taurus, because Mars will actually move into Taurus at the moment. On the 1st of June, it's still in Aries, the sign it rules. But by the 11th, it will have moved into Taurus. Into Taurus. And it will be squaring Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. So let's think about this. Mars in Taurus a sign it's not comfortable in, a sign it feels weighed down, bogged down in. Taurus is fixed. Taurus is the bull. We don't want to anger the bull. And if you think about it, Mars is about energy, action, anger, assertion. And here it is making a hard square to Pluto. Well, that's not very comfortable. And that is going to mean that the days around the 11th of June, for a couple of days from the new moon really leading up to the 11th, and for a few days after that, don't rise to the bait. Remember to respond and not react to situations. It's not easy because I say it here, and within a nanosecond of being out there in the big wide world, we forget. So I'm hoping that you will really try and remember not to react to this Mars square Pluto. Avoid crowded public places, especially if you live in areas where there is civil unrest, protests, marches, riots, because this is danger. This is a big red stop sign. Danger, do not go there. Be really, really mindful of that. Mars square Pluto, it doesn't take prisoners. So on a personal level, remember to respond and not react. On a wider world stage level, just watch what unfolds in the news. We could see these first 2 weeks of June being really quite, tricky energy. You know, we think, we've got through eclipse season. We've got through April and all the, the conjunctions, Uranus conjunct Jupiter. We've got into Taurus. We've survived that. And now here we are in Gemini and no, we've got some difficult energies. And, if you go to my website and go on the blog for June, you'll see a chart I've done for June. And it's for midnight on June the 1st. So it just gives you a sense of the kind of energies that are setting the tone for the month of June. So I'm aware there's a lot going on in the chat. I'm not going to allow myself to get distracted at the moment and go down any Gemini rabbit holes, but I'm just picking up one here. Smile and witnessing the birth of a new energetic relationship with learning how to do things differently for peace in our world. Parry, I love it. That is what we should be doing. We need to be raising our frequency to that higher vibration. Thank you for bringing that up. We need to be mindful of raising our consciousness to link in with the higher frequencies of Aquarius, because that's where Pluto is. It's retrograde, but remember, that is where the action is going to be for the next 20 years. We need to start recognizing that actually all the synapses in our brain are at a point where they can be upgraded and allowed to fire on different levels within our physical brain to raise our consciousness to a superconscious level. And this includes the Gemini energy. So I'm not leaving Gemini out of all of this, because Gemini, remember, is about duality. It's about the two faces. You're not quite sure sometimes which face you're going to get. And it is about duality. It's also about what can happen with Gemini is we stay too trapped in the mind. So that's why I want to bring in our intuitive, psychic side through the Pluto in Aquarius energy that is trining Jupiter for the first few days of June, that is really inviting us to actually look up, to look beyond. You know, it's interesting. Venus has gone with the new moon. It goes behind the sun. It disappears from our sight. So Venus then has a wonderful view of the universe. Isn't that cool? Venus can see what we can't see. And then when she returns to the other side of the sun, back into our view, she has all this new energy and information that she's picked up from the cosmos that she can impart to us through the various transits that she will do in Gemini and into Cancer season. Because remember, we have the summer solstice on the 21st, when the sun will enter Cancer on the 21st of June at 20 hours and 51 minutes universal time. Thank you, Jem. How am I feeling? Thank you. I'm my back aches when I sit in a chair for too long, so you'll all be relieved to hear this isn't going to go on too long, because I pre-recorded the new moon today. So I've already had half an hour in this chair, and I'm starting back with clients next week. So I'm going to be having to sit in the chair for an hour. So I'm actually just pacing myself. I'm going to take things easy. But before I finish June, I am going to come back and have a look at some of your chat, because I just so love talking to you all. It's so exciting. We've got the summer solstice on the 21st, and of course the sun moves into Cancer, bringing in very different energy. Suddenly we move into cardinal energy and water sign, a water sign full of emotion, feeling, intuition, psychic abilities, all of those kind of energies that go with Cancer. And once the sun is in Cancer, I think we can relax a little bit. We have a full moon in Capricorn on the 22nd. And that is, well, it's what we have with this full moon is the sun, Venus, and Mercury. They're all widely conjunct and opposite the full moon in Capricorn. And Mercury in Cancer is making a sextile to Mars in Taurus. So we have this kind of really quite an interesting full moon. I always think Capricorn can make it sound a little bit serious, but I think that whatever leaves at this point of our lives, or whatever we decide to discard, is actually timely, because remember, Saturn rules Capricorn, so it's very much about timing and things being on time. Everything comes at the right time. Remember that. I saw and shared a really interesting post on Facebook, of course, just before I came online. And it was about we don't have to put up with things that we don't like. And that includes people, situations, feelings, all sorts of things. I've shared it on my page. So go on my page on Facebook and you'll see it. I'll share it to my business page as well, so that you can all see it, because it really was quite an interesting post. And it brings me up to Saturn turning retrograde on the 29th of June. And it turns retrograde at 19 degrees, so that all through June, and remember, I will be looking at the individual weeks because I'll start my weeklies next Sunday, not tomorrow, but next Sunday. So they will be at 6 o'clock Central European time. I will be doing my weekly live stream astrological overviews for the week ahead. But on the 29th, Saturn turns retrograde, so that we've had this energy all month of just can't quite get going. It's like we're in Gemini and we've got all these great ideas and we want to do all these things, but it's like we're treading water. And certainly when we get into Cancer season, it really is like we're treading water because we're caught in the emotion of it all. In Gemini, we're caught in the thinking of it all, the overthinking of it all. And then by the time it gets into Cancer, we're caught in the emotion of it all. So Saturn, and I've just made a note of some of the interesting dates because you may actually want to make a note of these, because Saturn actually moves into Aries in May 2025. I haven't talked about when it goes direct again. And I want to talk about Neptune because Neptune is also really rather important for all of us to pay attention to at the moment. Neptune is at what we call the anaretic degree of Pisces, which means that by the end of the month, Neptune is actually at something like 29 degrees and 54 minutes. Now, Neptune, this means, has gone all the way around the zodiac in 165 years. This is big stuff. You've got Saturn trying to control the uncontrollable. Saturn in Pisces is trying to put boundaries on that which we can't contain. Neptune is in the sign it rules, and it loves being all over the place and mysterious. And remember, Neptune has a shadow, which can be the dark side of Neptune is misinformation. It can be secrets and lies. It can be confusion and not seeing things clearly. We can feel like somehow we're in a fog and we just can't see. We can't see clearly where we're going. And as Neptune comes up to that final degree of Pisces, it's as if it's just beginning to get a sense of what is going to happen when it restarts its next journey around the zodiac wheel. And let me go back to my notes. Yes, here we go. February, it's a long time off. February the 20th, 2026, Saturn will be conjunct Neptune in Aries. This is big stuff. And nearer the time, clearly, I will be talking about it. But we've got to get through 2025 yet. In fact, we've got to get through 6 more months of 2024. Isn't this year just going quickly? Oh my God. But let me go back to Saturn and Neptune, because Neptune has been empowering our super consciousness. It's been empowering our intuitive abilities. And so that once Pluto fully moves into Aquarius, we have this point in time where, and this is why 25 and going into 2026 are so super important, because I think we will all feel that somehow We do understand what other people are thinking and saying. We know it now. We just haven't really kind of put the kind of boundaries on it yet. Of course, we can understand telepathic communication. Of course, we can have psychic feelings about things and sense what's coming. It's as if we are going all the way back to our original roots when we were primitive man. Primitive man had all these abilities because that is how primitive man survived. Primitive man had to be safe in his cave and get a sense of whether it was safe to walk outside the cave. And primitive man had to sense whether or not there was a saber-toothed tiger crouching by a bush outside ready to pounce. That is why we're all here, because primitive man had these abilities. And gradually, as civilization grew and developed, we had it all knocked out of us. And I know a lot of you, and Andy, I'm thinking of you, are teachers out there. And you know, in school, we start kind of ironing out all these creases in our kids' intuitive abilities when they're in their sort of, preschool years, in kindergarten, in primary school. All their imaginations are narrowed down and compartmentalized. That's going to change. Pluto in Aquarius is going to change all of that. That's going to be awesome. So finally, how do we manage the energies of June? Well, in my blog, I talk about try not to focus on the destination. Let it unfold in the way it is meant to unfold. Stay in the present, because the energies of June may be seducing you into an exciting and bright future, which doesn't mean that you can't have it, but you've got to stay focused in the present and on the present day tasks so that you do what you need to do today, because that is what will enable you to get to manifesting the passion that you have, that you want. Because often when we get to where we think the destination is, we discover, oh, this wasn't what I did in my cosmic ordering list. And then you realize, oh, it's much better than what I wanted. Remember, the cosmos has our backs and the divine knows best. So when you are manifesting and setting your intentions for what you want to unfold in the future, give some flexibility to the universe and the divine. Thy will, not my will. Because you know what? It'll be much better than what our limited Gemini thinking bits can produce. It'll be much better. And the problem is that one of the reasons we don't often get, or we delay getting what we think we want, is because we're putting so many boundaries and restrictions and saying it's got to be this way, it's got to be a certain way, I want it by such and such a date. You're taking all the joy out of the serendipity of the universe working in the magical way that it works. And this is because we forget to stay in the present moment. By staying in the present moment, we allow the universe, the divine mind, the cosmos, whatever name you want to assign to your divinity. We allow the cosmos to sort out the details and to give us a destination that is often far better and far more exciting than anything we could have imagined. So just bear that in mind for actually the whole of the month of June. Keep that somewhere in your mind. Get out of your own way. Step back. Allow the cosmos to do her work. Now, I thought it would be fun to start again with this sort of word for the month or a word for the week. So I've got a word for the month. And I thought this is quite a good one. It just came to me in a flash. So I thought, oh, that's the one we'll use then. And it's no. How good are you at saying no? Do you over-explain? Do you justify your reason for saying no? And do you end up saying yes because it's easier, or you don't want to appear rude, or you don't want to upset the other? You know, we can be too fond of being nice, being kind, being polite. Although I have to say sometimes one comes across people that are very good at saying no. And actually, when we do, it's quite refreshing because at least you know where you are. I'm glad to see that, Andy. You started saying no to a lot this year. And not many people except you are happy about it. Yes, people don't like it when we say no. We go no. It's like, there's something about, I've found, about being around what I call negative people, or people that, for me, have a toxicity about them. It's not good for me. It's not good for my health. It's not good for my state of mind. And I'm learning, and I've learned, it's okay to say no to these people, to not have them in my life, to not be polite, to not make everything okay for them, and then I don't feel okay. Because actually, that serves no one. So it's also about being honest. No is one of the most honest words we can say. And it can save an awful lot of problems and an awful lot of heartache. So maybe this coming week, because I'll have a word for the week on next Sunday, think about, do I need to say no? What do I need to say no to? Now you'll notice I'm starting to bring this to a close fairly swiftly, because I'm saying no to myself in allowing my boundaries to be a little bit loose and wobbly and not taking care of me. I know I need to take care of me. And I do want to say, because I've got you all here in a pretty collective way, thank you so much for sticking around and waiting, because that means a lot. Yes, I've lost some subscribers, but that's what happens because I'm not putting out any content. It's algorithmic and all of that. And, that doesn't bother me anymore. What bothers me is making quality videos and meeting you guys and having quality sessions with those of you that choose to ask me to be the interpreter of your astrology for you. And I love doing it. And that's why I have so few sessions on offer, because I want to give you my best. I want to give you quality and not a tired penny. I'm sure you've picked up by now that I'm really not in this for the money. I'm really not. I need the money to pay my bills, but I'm not actually in it for what I get. I get so much more in value from the passion I have of sharing my passion, which is astrology. From making these videos, from the presentation, the artistic side of it, the performance of it, because I love doing it so much. And I want to pass this on to you, that you find things you're passionate about and do them. Do them now, whatever it is. Please follow your passion. Follow what you love. Do what you love. And you know what? When we get out of the frequency of lack and we stay in the frequency of abundance, the money or the value that we look for will come anyway, because we've ceased trying to make it happen. As soon as we stop trying to make something happen, it allows it to come to us. But you have to get on the right frequency. And you have to say no to an awful lot of people and things in your life, situations that normally you will placate, you will put up with. And that can include family as well. And I know that can be really difficult and uncomfortable, but it can. And, you know, I say this all the time, but knowing thyself, which is what was written on the entrance to the oracle at Delphi, is the most important thing we can do with our lives. Because if we really know ourselves well, by saying no to what does not serve us, it's interesting, they're the same phonetic sound in English. Know thyself and know. And if we're able to do that, then we're setting boundaries and we're making it clear that we value ourselves by saying no. We value who we are. We value who we let into our energy. And I'm doing a lot of saying no. I did a big yes to having my surgery. And because I've been so convinced it was the right thing to do and I would recover well, I am recovering well because I believed I would recover well. And it's really interesting. The whole process has been extraordinary and wonderful. So I just want to have a look at some of your messages before I click off, because Anastasia Fantana, a no coming from a person who used to say yes all the time is of extreme importance. It is so relieving, mainly to you. That's brilliant. Yes, it will make your life simpler. Parry, thanks Penny for your encouragement for all of us to do things that we love and not letting circumstances change our lives. We all deserve love and kindness with respect and compassion. Choose wisely. Yes, 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 yes to everything you said, Parry. And no, I'm sure, Annabelle, your little pug doesn't like no. My cats don't like no either, but actually I try and show them in their language, which is a bit different. So if they're doing something that is not good or behaved, I just ignore them. I look away. They come near to me, I just ignore them. And you know what? They get the message. So I don't shout at them, but they go, oh, it's almost as if I can hear them saying, oh, okay, that wasn't acceptable. I mean, they're still going to be naughty because they're cats. So of course they will. Let me see what else we've got here. Ben, here's what you've learned. Do your thing unapologetically, even when others give advice to do something else. Yes. Accept and forgive yourself and what you enjoy. There is no good and bad. Those are labels. Yes, 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 yes. Poonam, I didn't know how much I needed to hear this message. So glad you were able to make it too. Penny the Alpha. Thanks, Andy. I like that. Annabelle, sending blessings, all will go well and the money will flow. Money flows. Listen, money flows where energy goes. And it's not about money, it's about value and it's about what you value. And I am doing something I love. And so I value what I do. And that's end of story. I value it. I value me. I respect me. And you know what? If you have respect for yourself and value yourself, you will start changing your world, because you will find that people that don't have respect for you or value you will drop away, or they will just pick up this energy coming from you and they'll back off. If they're strangers, they will just back off. It's just extraordinary how it happens. And oh, bless you, Parry. You're so honored by my gift of kindness. I'm very grateful for your help and support for all of us equally, with love and care. Bless you. Thank you so much. Andy, you're looking forward to seeing an update on one of these lives. Best of luck on the 12th. What's happening on the 12th? Don't know. Is that my next live? Oh, I see. The Mars square Pluto, I think. What's happening on the 12th? Is that next weekend or something? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's happening on the 12th. Oh, Tiffany's having a baby. Sorry, you weren't talking to me. You're all talking amongst yourselves. Sorry. Thank you, Sue. God bless. Yes, God bless you. Yes, I am doing extremely well. Sue in England. She's a really good tarot reader. If you want a reading with her, look, Sue Carroll. There she is. You can find her on Facebook. So I'll just give her a little plug. And oh, I think the ads are coming on, so I think it's probably telling me it's time to go. So, oh, someone buzzing my buzzer, so I'm going to ignore it. We have elections at the moment, and so all the local politicians are coming round and buzzing the doorbell because they want to come and talk to you to get my vote. And I just say no, I'm not telling you. And on that note, listen, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your presence. And I will see you next Sunday, whatever date that is. I think it's the 9th, I think. And my new moon video is coming out this week. Check out the website for all of the blogs. And I'm loving doing these blogs. And I have started my book. And I don't think I've told you the name, but I'm going to keep that secret. So it's just going to have to wait. But I've started my book. So there we go. It's all so exciting. And I've got lots of exciting things coming up and planned. So you're going to see much more of me over the coming months. Lots of love to you all. Oh gosh, yes, I have to do this end stream bit now. And I will take care. Thank you, Jem. I did see you there, and I'm sorry I didn't tell them to. I'm not going to say that. Yes, absolutely. Lorraine, hello, my love. Thank you. Okay, keep writing. Everybody keep writing. So I'm off. Bye for now. Love you all loads. And I will see you soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.